for our president. And so right now, our attention really, truly needs to be directed to, all right, so what are your stances? And I believe both candidates, both primary candidates, and I'll just say primary. Can I say that?
Major party.
Thank you. I knew he'd straighten me out there. The major party candidates, have come out with strong statements. About this.
All four of them have come out with really strong statements on it. And in fact, that's what I want to say, and this is what's so sad.
Okay.
Is that the two third-party candidates came out with much
overlooked.
more. They came out with a much stronger, concise, and succinct statement than the two major party candidates, and that was the problem. Now, Donald Trump came out with a much stronger and concise statement than Hillary Clinton. Hillary Clinton came out with a very politicized statement on gun control.
Being nudged, I think she was nudged.
No, she came out on gun control pretty strong.
Oh, well, yeah.
And we'll talk about that after the break.
Yeah, but and gun control really needs to concern us all. Folks, I'm telling you, that is a Second Amendment right that is being threatened in a big way. 571-2428, 571-CHAT.
WFIA, The Spirit. Geico applauds your inner road champion.
A solid bump from Geico's fist to yours goes out to the little rebel that lives within. The one who made you daydream as a kid about owning a chopper, chroming it out, and chewing on toothpicks, just to look tough. For you, champ, Geico insures motorcycles with great rates. And to further fuel your engine, you can access your policy anytime, day or night, through the Geico mobile app. Because Geico knows that even make-believe renegades need help from time to time.
Geico Motorcycle. See how much you could save.
I take a lot of pride in who I bring to you as sponsors on this show, because I want to make sure that my credibility stays good with you. Why? Because you listen to me. You put your trust in me. And I put my trust in people that I bring you, and I put my trust in Bob Leonard. Better by Design has been around now for almost 20 years, drawing concise plans that builders can take and absolutely build to a T, if you will. No problems. And you can get hundreds of builders to verify that. You just call Bob Leonard today, 502-741-2748. That's 741-2748. And talk with him. He'll walk you through this process, and you're going to be quite impressed with him. I promise you that. Go online at bbd-plans.com to see more.
Inspiration. Every word counts. This is Ken Ham, heading up the ministry building a full-size Noah's Ark near Cincinnati. Scripture begins with the account of creation in the book of Genesis. Now we know that because God cannot lie, we can trust what Genesis says about origins. But God didn't write the Bible directly. So who did? Well, the first 5 books of the Bible were written by Moses. We sometimes call these the books of Moses. He knew about the creation of the universe and man because God revealed it to him. We call this inspiration. In fact, the whole Bible is inspired. You see, the Apostle Paul tells us that the Scriptures were breathed out by God. The Holy Spirit divinely guided the authors of the Bible in their writing, so we have an accurate and authoritative account, beginning with Genesis.
Discover more about the history of the Bible as you visit our award-winning website, AnswersInGenesis.org. Go to AnswersInGenesis.org.
The spring clearance event is in full swing at Craig and Landreth Chrysler Dodge Jeep Ram. Let the friendly, knowledgeable staff at Craig and Landreth Chrysler Dodge Jeep Ram help you find the vehicle you deserve. Priced to fit your budget. Call 241-6868 or visit our virtual showroom online at cnlchrysler.com and then stop by for a test drive. We're on Highway 146 in Crestwood, an easy drive up I-71 North at exit 14. Just 5 minutes for the Snyder. You're listening to Just Ask Joyce on WFIA, The Spirit.
Thank you so much for joining us today. I say us because Garrett Sivaking, political strategist, is on board if you're just tuning in. It's been an interesting hour and plus because we're into the second hour now. And, on the heels of Orlando, it's been quite interesting. The political race for the president's seat has kind of geared up. I would say it's cranked up to a different level, Garrett. And so I think uppermost on our minds right now, although there are other issues that we will discuss even that are kind of high focus today as well. But uppermost in our minds right now may be gun control, as I was saying before we went to the break. You can call 571-2428, 571-CHAT if you have a question for Garrett, a comment that you'd like to make, a concern. Maybe you are no longer the fence straddler. You've chosen now. This has made up your mind who you're going to vote for. You don't have to say whom, or unless you want to. But maybe this was the deciding factor for you this weekend's events. But gun control, should we be concerned about that, Garrett? Am I just kind of tooting my horn, and you know how I get kind of excited, or am I making more of this than there is, or should we be concerned?
No, we should definitely be concerned about gun control and the way that it's been proposed. Obviously, there is gun control. Obviously, there is a reason for gun control. We have different things as far as preventing violent felons from coming out and getting another gun, or trying to get another gun.
But usually they do.
Well, they can do that anyway. You can get
Right.
you can get guns illegally. I mean, that'll
happens
always
all the time.
that'll happen for the eternity.
Right.
For example, the terrorist attack in France this past weekend against 2 French police officers who were married and were murdered in front of their 3-year-old child, and it was broadcasted on Facebook. How terrible that is. Number one, French police. By the way, I will extend this to Prime Minister Hollande. Thank you for extending that the fact that your police officers have the right to carry a firearm home with them when they are no longer on duty. I mean, all of us who think about that, we think, well, of course you would. No, apparently in France, even after the attacks at the Bataclan that really incensed the problem that has in Europe, we still had police officers who were not able to be armed at home. I mean, to me, that is just the most ignorant thing that could happen. So thank you for finally extending those protections to people who are already on the front line every day. But, Hillary Clinton's first response was, of course, to talk about the victims. But then she turned around immediately in the same paragraph and attacked on gun control, talking about the no-fly list, talking about expanded background checks, talking about bans on the AR-15, which she calls an assault rifle. And by the way, this is one of the emails I got. AR, it stands for the brand name. AR does not stand for assault rifle on the brand of that. Yes. And second of all, the AR-15 was not used in this incident. That is something that was misconstrued from the beginning. The AR-15 was not the rifle that was used in this incident. The AR-15 is not an assault weapon. What was? It was a different type of rifle. I'll have to look it up, but it was proven not to be an AR-15. And the AR-15 is not an assault weapon. First of all, assault weapon is a definition. We should talk about it. Anything can be an assault weapon. Sure. A
little hand
since
pistol.
Since we talked about Muhammad Ali earlier, Muhammad Ali's fists were an assault weapon.
Yes, they were.
If you use them for outside of the boxing ring, that's in place there. The second thing about the no-fly list. Okay.
Right.
I know every time you say this, it comes out and you're like, oh, well, that's just common sense, Garrett. Of course you want to do that. There's a problem with the no-fly list. The no-fly list, you have no due process as an American citizen to know why you're on the list, and you have no due process to have a petition to remove your name from it. Those two things, and you need to let people know, fine, I don't mind if we have people on the no-fly list not be able to purchase guns, but you have to have a reform, and you have to tell us how people are put on it, when they're put on it, and how they can become removed. Now, Senate Democrats, and guys, we've been begging for action for so long, remember. Senate Democrats decided to get into action today and to use the filibuster. Now, I say that because I love the filibuster. It's one of my favorite things. Mr. Smith Goes to Washington is my absolute favorite movie, okay? I support the filibuster regardless. I even support the filibuster in this incident. I just think it's hilarious that it took so long for them to become incensed about something to use the filibuster, and it's for this particular issue. Call the Senate the switchboard, 202-224-3121. 202-224-3121. That number's on our Twitter and our Facebook page. Let them know. Tell Leader McConnell, tell Senator Paul, tell Senator Dan Coates, and Senator Joe Donnelly that you want reforms, first and foremost, regardless of whether you're going to put in an incident of gun control. You want reforms to the no-fly list because innocent Americans are being targeted and put on that list for no reason. If we're going to have a no-fly list, let it be their no-fly list for a reason, that it's someone who is tied to terrorism. Second of all, tell them...
And it not be scrubbed.
Right. Okay. And second of all, tell them that guns are not the problem in the issue here. We have the person who fires the gun is the person who is committing the act. Okay? And they will get a gun, or they will get a knife, or they will build a bomb, or they will make a Molotov cocktail, or whatever evil. They have to do to do their evil. Yes. Okay? That's from the end. The only person that gets affected by gun control is the legal, law-abiding gun owner who is there to protect themselves, the single mother protecting her children, the elderly person who is standing there trying to protect their home. So like I said, 202-224-3121. Call and call and call. Crash the switchboard if you have to, right? And let them know.
Blow up the phone
lines. Let them know that you. Yeah, let them know that you want to have your voice heard. That it's time that the Senate act on behalf of the American people.
We need our voice strong. We need it heard. And hey, guys, call in right now and let it be heard right here. Yes. 571-2428, 571-CHAT. I'm going to give you the number that Garrett gave you again, because I'm going to encourage you. You know, if you've never been an involved citizen before to this extent where, I've never made a phone call to my congressman. I've never made, any kind. I don't know what to do. You don't have to. They will walk you through it. It's fine. Just call in and just tell them exactly what Garrett said. You want reforms to the no-fly list. You want those kinds of reforms that they're going to protect the American public. 202-224-3121, and you get your pen and paper, you get your phone ready, whatever. We'll give you that number again. We feel like it's that important. Garrett, this whole election selection 2016, since its inception, has been to inform, educate, and prepare our listeners, and to really create this sense of involvement of their voice in our politics. Steve, thank you for calling in today.
Oh, hello.
Hi, Steve. How are you doing?
Oh, I'm good. I just wanted to just throw out a point that, I've observed, and I've heard other people, have made the comment. But, all of these attacks and assaults and everything, and you look back and think, I've heard you say the best thing to stop a bad guy with a gun is a good guy with a gun. Yep. But every single one of these, you look at it, Sandy Hook, elementary school, theater, nightclub, it's all places where you're not typically going to have law-abiding citizens carrying guns.
Well, Steve, I will also point out to you that the nightclub this past weekend was a gun-free zone.
Gun-free zone?
The movie theater in Aurora, Colorado was a gun-free zone. And teachers at Sandy Hook were also denied the right to be armed.
We disarmed. And guess where they pick?
That was on the military, what was it, recruitment center or whatever.
Right.
It was a
gun-free zone. Yep. And guess where they target? They're not idiots. No. They target the gun-free zones.
Right. Yeah.
We're going to a break, Steve. If you want to make some more comments, you can hold on, but we'll be back. Don't go away.
WFIA, The Spirit.
Imagine a vacation specifically designed for your spiritual growth and enrichment, along with 5-star accommodations, beautiful scenery, historic sites, and a community of people committed to you having a once-in-a-lifetime experience. Join us this fall on a 15-day all-inclusive Mediterranean cruise with Pastor Alistair Begg, and visit thrilling stops in Naples, Jerusalem, Rome, and more. It's the footsteps of the Apostles' Mediterranean cruise. Come and experience sites like the Sistine Chapel, the historic Western Wall in Jerusalem, and the beauty of the Isle of Santorini, all during one trip. with like-minded travelers. Register today to sail the pristine Mediterranean waters in luxurious accommodations and follow in the footsteps of the apostles to Athens and Ephesus. With special guest and resident teaching Pastor Alistair Begg, this cruise is sure to be inspiring and refreshing. The Footsteps of the Apostles Mediterranean Cruise is happening September 22nd to October 9th. To register, visit footstepsoftheapostles.com. That's footstepsoftheapostles.com.
Celebrate recovery at Valley View Church every Thursday night. Have you tried it yet? Well, give it a try this Thursday night. Celebrate Recovery is a safe place to get real about your hurts, habits, and hang-ups without fear of judgment. You don't have to walk alone. Join us on Thursday nights with dinner at 5, a large group at 6, small groups at 7, and coffee with friends at 8, with free childcare for kids grades 5 and under. Celebrate Recovery at Valley View Church, 8911 3rd Street Road in Valley Station.
Paid non-attorney spokesperson. Adam Pulaski of the Pulaski Law Firm with principal office in Houston, Texas is the attorney responsible for the content of this ad. This ad is not legal advice, and the choice of a lawyer should not be based solely upon advertisements. Services may not be available in all states. Attention women. New evidence shows that talcum powder products such as Johnson & Johnson's baby powder and shower to shower may cause ovarian cancer. If you or a loved one use talcum powder and were diagnosed with ovarian cancer, call 800-401-3160 right now. You may be entitled to significant cash compensation. Recently, Johnson & Johnson was ordered to pay $72 million in damages to the family of a woman who died of cancer she said was caused by the company's talcum powder. The jury found that Johnson & Johnson knew that these products could cause cancer and failed to warn consumers. If you or a loved one used talcum powder and were diagnosed with ovarian cancer, call 800-401-3160. You may be entitled to cash compensation. Time is limited. Call 800-401-3160 now. Our toll-free phone lines are open 24/7. Call 800-401-3160. That's 800-401-3160. 800-401-3160.
A writer named T.H. Thompson made an observation which I have found to be true in my own life. A filing cabinet, he said, is a place where you can lose things systematically. It's true. Let's face it, some of us are more organized than others. Organization is not life's highest virtue, but it is certainly a necessary one. In fact, the Apostle Paul had to admonish one church to hold their services in a more decent and orderly fashion. How we do everything in our life reflects on our God. Yes, even the way we keep up with important documents. And this is David Jeremiah, encouraging you to get on the road to new life. Discover God's orderliness on Route 66.
Route 66, driving the word home. Log on to Route66Life.com and get your roadmap for life. That's Route66Life.com. Route 66. Start your journey home today.
The heart and the soul of Christianity is not a religious system, is not ethical standards, it is not even a set of doctrine. That's how the world perceives Christianity. But the heart and soul of Christianity is Jesus Christ.
Join Dr. Michael Youssef this week on Leading the Way.
Weekday mornings at 11:30 and evenings at 8:30 on WFIA, The Spirit. You're listening to Just Ask Joyce on WFIA, The Spirit.
Thank you so much for joining us today. And we have another Steve online. Thank you so much for calling in, Steve.
Yeah, Joyce, thanks for taking my call.
Hey, it's our pleasure.
I got a little, it's just a short thing about, I don't know what it was called back then, but this they're talking about this no-fly, no-buy
right.
stuff. Well, my daughter was taking her daughter and her son to flying up to Maine, and they got pulled out by TSA in Louisville because he's got a Irish name. His first name is Sean Kelly, and that must have been on. I don't know if it was part of the IRA or whatever, but he was 7 years old.
Wow.